اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد اللهم بارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. In the Dars of Hadith we mentioned yesterday, we mentioned that when the new moon is seen, one should offer prayers. In this regard, an important incident occurred yesterday, which Imam Sahib wishes to mention. Yesterday, when Huzur, may Allah be his helper, came from his home to offer his Maghrib prayer, there were some friends standing at the edge of Mahmud Hall, and some ladies were also standing there out near Nusrat Hall. And when Huzur came, he inquired as to whether the moon had been seen, and he was told that yes, the moon had been seen, and people pointed towards it. Huzur turned his blessed countenance towards that direction, and then immediately raised his hands and prayed, and all the people who were there, they all joined him. So those people who were near Huzur and those who were standing near Mahmud Hall, etc., they all offered salat. After the prayer finished, Huzur said that when one prays for the moon, for the new moon, one should face the moon. This is a very important matter which should be kept in mind. Normally prayer is generally done in any direction, but when it is done with reference to the seeing of the new moon, then it is important. Then direction should be towards the moon, and one should raise one's hands to offer the prayers. So it's a very good point of wisdom which Huzur pointed out to us, and we should remember this. The hadith that was mentioned yesterday, a very comprehensive address of the Holy Prophet ﷺ was presented, which he had given at the end of the month of Shaban, at the beginning of the month of Ramadan, in which he told the companions about many aspects of the blessings of Ramadan. And so the rest of that hadith will be presented today. The Holy Prophet ﷺ said that مَطَرَ فِيهِ صَائِمًا كَانَ لَهُ مَغْفِرَةٌ لِذُنُوبِهِ وَإِتْقُ رَكْبَتِهِ مِنَ النَّارِ, that the person who opens the fast of another person, then the reward that is given to him by Allah, it is one aspect of it is that his sins are forgiven, and also the other thing is that his neck is saved from hellfire. It is freed from hellfire. So if this is very important to note, that keeping the fast is very good, and it has many benefits as mentioned before. But also on top of that, if one opens the fast of others, this has also got a lot of great reward. But in this regard, there are several conditions which should be kept in mind. So the person who opens somebody's fast will have the same amount of reward as someone who has kept the fast. So it will not reduce the reward of the person who has been fasting, but they will be given an equal reward, and there will be no lessening in the reward of the person keeping the actual fast. So this was the way of the companions, that they were informal with the Holy Prophet ﷺ, but they were also had the utmost respect for him, and would ask with utmost respect if they had a question. So at this occasion, the companions said, "O Prophet of Allah, we wish to say that not every one of us has the capacity or the means to open somebody's fast. So this informs us of the state of poverty and destituteness of the companions, that they said with such humbleness, and that they were not able, a lot of them were not able to open somebody else's fast. At this, the Holy Prophet ﷺ said that look, there is nothing to worry about, and you shouldn't get anxious about this, that you have to open people's fast. The Holy Prophet ﷺ said, don't worry, this incredible reward which I have just mentioned is given to every such person who opens a fast or someone who is fasting, but there is no need for any show or pretense or formality, or neither is it should be taken as a show of one's extensive wealth. If someone doesn't even have milk, someone doesn't have enough milk, they can add water to it and present some of it to open somebody's fast. Or if they don't have other fruit, if they even have just one date, if he gives that date to someone who is fasting, or even a mouthful of water is given to a person who's opening the fast, all of these things open people's fast. Imam Sahib is saying that you see some formalities these days. This is very far removed from that. It is a style of extreme simplicity and humbleness. That the real issue here is the intention. So one is rewarded for the intention and not for how much food one has provided someone. So these things should be remembered, that those people who have the means and who can do something better, then they should do that. But those who are not able to do that, so they should present whatever they can, even if no matter how small it is, it has a great reward. So much so that even water, which is everywhere, even if a small mouthful of it is given to someone to enable them to open their fast, even that gives the reward. So remember that opening the fast has many, many benefits. It also increases mutual brotherhood, and one mentions good matters. So these are also this is also a part of opening the fast, that at the time of opening the fast one should not talk about things like politics, etc. One should talk of piety and righteousness and the teachings of Islam, so that that time is spent in the proper sense and good things are mentioned as much as possible. And then the Holy Prophet ﷺ continued to say that it is also a fact that many people can afford more. They can present food in such a way that it satiates the person who has been fasting. So he said, a person who gives someone enough food to fill them, he feeds them and gives them water, give them something to drink as well, then what will be the reward be? The reward will be that Allah will give that person from the special spring of Allah. He will be given the drink from that, which is the spring of Kausar, and then after that he will never feel thirst in the next life until he reaches heaven. And then the subject is changed by the Holy Prophet ﷺ, and he says that remember that this is a month in which infinite blessings are combined. This is why it is known as the blessed month, and it is the month in which the first section is mercy. It is an embodiment of mercy, and it's a means of attainment of mercy. So the 10 days of the Ramazan are divided into one part each, and the first part is the one in which is of mercy. The second one, the middle one, is of forgiveness. So it is to seek forgiveness of one's sins, and so one should search for such verses of the Holy Quran in which Allah has taught us how to ask forgiveness. We should seek forgiveness using those verses. So one should try and ask for forgiveness as much as possible in this second section of the month. And then he said, and the last section of the month of Ramadan, the last 10 days, is such in which one can attain complete salvation from the fire of hell. So these should be kept in mind, that this way it is mentioned, it has got great wisdom in it. In the first month there is mercy, the second is forgiveness, and the third is to be saved from fire. So we should keep this in mind when we go through the month of Ramadan. And then it says that the person who, this is also called a month of loving one's brothers, and also of creating mutual mutual care and understanding. Then that is also the point of Ramadan. Furthermore, the Holy Prophet ﷺ said that if someone has a laborer or a servant, he should try and not put a lot of burden on them in this Ramadan. In fact, they should try to reduce their responsibilities in this month because he is fasting. So what will be the reward of that? The Holy Prophet ﷺ said that Allah will forgive his sins, and Allah will save them from the fire of hell. So this is a very comprehensive address that the Holy Prophet ﷺ gave in the beginning of this month of Ramadan in front of the companions. It's extremely comprehensive, and it has many fundamental matters, and there are such matters we should all keep in mind when we are going through the month of Ramadan, and we should act upon them. May Allah enable us to do so. Ameen summa ameen.